All right, good morning. AO mentor session with Todd Ferguson. We got a couple questions we're going to answer here from AO members. So the first question we're going to answer is from Robin Turpin. Robin asks, what are ideas you would have to build relationships with other local businesses in my area? So business background and description says I'm an independent artist and I sell my art to art enthusiasts building an online e-commerce store. In order to build my audience locally, I'm looking for ideas you may have to best network and get involved with a local community. So the easiest way is just to get out in your community, to attend live events, to shop small businesses. You have other places like Chamber of Commerce's, Rotary clubs, Toastmasters, places like that. Anywhere where you can get in front of other entrepreneurs, other business owners, and have a conversation and show your art, show what you have to offer, and just really start creating a conversation. I know you are also a bartender at night, Robin. That's a great place to meet people. But for you, it's just really getting comfortable talking about your business, being confident about what you have to offer. And so if you type in, there's entrepreneur organizations, there's EO, there's all types of places. But the thing is you've got to get out and be seen in the community. So like for me, I'm not a huge high school football fan. I never played it growing up. But I know that when I show up at local events like that, people see me in the community. People get to know me. We start conversations. And that's where you start building relationships. And so the more you can get out and the more you can be in your community and be seen, start to be known, that's when people will start to want to know more about your business and want to know more about what you're doing. So it's just really just putting yourself out there. So hopefully that helps, Robin. All right, next question is from Ricardo. Ricardo asks, how does a company do employee annual reviews? How would a small business approach this to employees when it's never been done? Business description and background says, I own and operate a barbershop and want to start doing employee reviews. I want to approach this correctly. Any advice is appreciated. So we've been in business since 2013, and unfortunately we just started doing employee reviews, which was a huge mistake. The sooner you can do it, the better off you're going to be. It opens up lines of communication. It allows you to give feedback consistently. So for us, we're doing them every 6 months. We did one this spring/summer. We're going to do one after the first of the year. One thing you can do as well that we do is we do evaluations. So we have our managers do them weekly. They have to do one a week when we have 19 people that work for us, so that kind of rotates through. But that is a good way to start kind of learning how to evaluate your people. And so we do it based on our core values, based on the KPIs that we track. So that is a good way to do that. You can get online and do a evaluation form. You can Google all this stuff, figure out what works best for your business, and kind of formulate it that way. So if you start doing evaluations on your team weekly or monthly or however you want to do it, it's a very simple one-page form that we do. It allows you to critique their performance, how they interact with customers, are they upselling for you, whatever is important to you. And then did they fall short? We don't say fall short, I have to look it up, but did they not meet expectations? Did they meet expectations, or did they exceed expectations? And so it allows you to then have an immediate conversation, a coaching conversation with them, and not say something like, we need to talk, or I need to talk to you about this. It's less offensive, and so it allows you to have comments or to have communication back and forth. Then you can kind of use those evaluation forms and roll that into what you really want for your reviews. You're probably going to change it 2 or 3 or 4 times. You're going to learn what works best for you and what works best for your team. But the key is just to start doing something to where you can give feedback like that. And then you can roll into actual true reviews if you want to do that, performance reviews. But Ricardo, I would tell you, start as soon as you possibly can, which would be today. Figure something out and then kind of tweak it as you go. Most people that work for us don't want to do a bad job, and I think Sean talks about this. They don't want to do a bad job. they want to do a good job and they want feedback, and evaluation forms and then performance reviews are ways that allow you to do that. So hopefully that helps. All right, the next question comes from Lysandra. Lysandra says, how should I handle businesses who want to purchase my items at wholesale or discounted prices? If I discount items and work with these companies, how much should I discount my prices? Business description and background. It says, I have a baking company that specializes in custom desserts. I have 3 businesses who've approached me about working with them. One is a small business that curates luxury picnics and is looking for a baker to work with them who can bake items for their customers as part of a package they offer. The second is a store that sells local handmade items. The owner is looking to add more baked goods. And the third is a hotel as part of a national chain. The location is looking to have local baked items as gifts for selected guests and special events. So just a couple thoughts on this. Everybody wants a discount, right? I mean, if we could get a discount on everything we buy, that would be great. The one thing that jumped out at me, or one of the things, is that you do custom desserts, and it's very hard to put a discount or wholesale on custom desserts or custom items because they are custom, and usually most people, or at least I would expect, to pay more for something custom. There's that perceived value that it's made specifically for you, and so it's very hard to discount items like that. There's 2 different things between discounts and wholesale. Wholesale, at least in the way that we view wholesale, is that it's a price that we're going to pay for an item no matter what. Like we're expecting to pay. So for us, we have stuff called Keystone. So when I buy something wholesale from a manufacturer or a wholesale company, I'm usually looking to Keystone or mark up my product so I can make a certain percentage. Usually Keystone, we double it is what we would do. So if I'm buying an item from a wholesaler for $10, I would sell it for $20. And generally, the wholesaler is selling that for $5 to me, so they're doubling their money. I know, though, with food that there is less of a margin there. Well, oftentimes the margins are really thin. Before you start discounting or offering wholesale to other companies, you need to make sure, A, that it makes sense for you, that you can still make money, because there's no point in offering a discount if you're doing more volume, but you're not making any money, or if you're actually losing money. And I know that there's 3 different businesses. There's a lot of potential with a hotel chain and all that kind of stuff, but it's got to make sense for your business. So really run your numbers. So know your numbers. Run your numbers and see, do I have room in here if somebody ordered 200 of this cookie or 100 of this cookie or 6 cakes instead of 1? You know, for the time that it takes you to get all your supplies out and have all your people there, can you make 6 cakes instead of 1, charge them less, and still make the same profit margin that you normally would? You could even look at raising your prices slightly, or have a built-in buffer, so when somebody offers you or asks you for a discount, you can offer that to them. But really, the thing is know your numbers, know what profit you are making per item, per cookie, per croissant, per whatever you're making. Know what you're making, and then work backwards from that before you start offering discounts. So that's how I would handle that. So hopefully it helps. Let me know how that goes for you. All right, next question is from Michael. Michael asks, after you buy into a business, how do you quantify that you have got your investment back? And that's in quotations, got your investment back. It says business description and background of question. I bought into ticketscene.ca a year ago. I have been working at it and just quit my day job in April. So now the business is paying my wages, but it's only paying me back what I would have made in my day job. At present, I don't believe this is, again, in quotes, getting back my investment. So I don't have much experience in this. Hopefully there'll be some mentors such as Dan or Jeff or somebody, Sean, that can talk specifically about this. But the thing that jumps out at me is you bought into a business. I have no idea what that means. Did you buy into a business to be part owner? Did you buy into a business to be a passive investor? Did you buy into a business because they needed an influx of capital? I don't know how much you bought in. Did you buy in for $5,000? Did you buy in for $100? Like it all varies. But normally when you, or the way I look at it at least, is when you buy into or you make an investment and it's been about a year, I don't expect to get that money back within that year. Yes, I would hope to see some type of return, but generally, like if you're investing in whether it's a stock market or whether it's even a business, like you're going to get your investment back in small chunks. And when you invested in this, it all comes down to what was prearranged and what you discussed and what's in writing. And so that's where, getting advice from a mentor or mentors, multiple ones, before you invest in something is a smart idea, because they've been through these things. They're going to give you things to think about. But did you buy into this business with an exit plan? Like, was the goal to buy into this, build it up for the next 3 or 4 years, and then sell it and then get a percent back? Or was it to get a return every month? Generally, though, too, when you remove income or you remove money from a business, especially a startup or a business that is really trying to grow, you stunt that growth. Any money that you pull out, and you as in anybody, any money that is pulled out from a business as they are growing really harms the business. So let's just say you wanted to get $1,000 a month back. Well, what could that business do with that $1,000 a month? Is it a big deal to them? Do they need it to help make payroll? Do they need it to buy more product? Do they need it to expand? Do they need it to pay a commission? So that's all kind of stuff to think about. But I would definitely get with Sean and see what he thinks on this. But yeah, it's really vague. But that's just some thoughts there. So hopefully that helps. All right, last question comes from Randy. Randy says, how can I make hiring an intern from a local college for marketing and social media successful? Business description and background says he's not a social media expert, so he'd like to hire an intern who is practicing studies in marketing and social media. I talked to a local college. They told me to sign up with Purple Suitcase to post job requirements. I would like one to help promote leagues, corporate parties, kids' birthdays, special events. Would you recommend going this route or hiring someone that has their degree? Would you recommend the amount of hours a week to start, or what would you recommend? And also, should I offer commissions? Your thoughts. Any good hire or any good, for you to have a successful employee, let's put it that way. First of all, you need to have a good job description. So this person that you hire, whether they are paid or unpaid, needs to know exactly what they're doing. Needs to bullet points. And we're not talking like a one page. If you're doing social media expert, that is a very broad topic, right? Social media could be TikTok, it could be Instagram, it could be WhatsApp, it could be Facebook, it could be LinkedIn, it could be a ton of different things. So what specific platforms are you hiring for? So a good job description. And then really make sure that you have SOPs planned out. You have SOPs written for each part of that job. I know you say you're not a social media expert, but there are things that need to happen. The worst thing that we do as entrepreneurs is we hire somebody that we think has the skills that we need. We give them a vague job description, and then we say, here, do your thing. Go at it. Make it happen. Make it rain money, right? And that is not the way it goes. You can try that, but in my experience, that is when we've had usually the worst outcomes. There's not job expectations set for the person. There's we talked about with Ricardo, with doing evaluations and reviews. It's hard to do evaluations and reviews when there's no SOPs or job descriptions with that. And so I would encourage you, before you hire anybody, to make sure you have a very clear job description, SOPs or standard operating procedures, basically how you're going to do each thing for whatever you want them to do. If you're hiring somebody for free, you can have them work as many hours as you want. I have no idea, as far as your business, how many hours a week you can pay somebody. What is the return on your investment going to be? Do you have the money in your budget to pay somebody right away? But I think if you can hire an intern and get them to work for you and pay them either a lower wage than you normally would or for free, then I think that's a good idea. Just because somebody has a degree, I don't even know if there's social media degrees, but or I guess it would be in marketing. But even if somebody has a degree, that does not mean that they know what your business needs and what you need from them. So that's how I would start with that. But I would say if you can hire somebody, on a part-time basis, if you can hire somebody to work for a lower rate and train them, I'm all for that. But a lot of times, remember, you get what you pay for. So guys, that's all the questions that I have for me. So hopefully this helped you guys. Other than that, you guys have a great morning or afternoon whenever you're watching this, and I can't wait to read everybody's Flex Fridays tomorrow. All right guys, thanks.